Andy XL back with an NFXL podcast. And in the final of my look through the fantasy positions, if you like, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, looking at those that might do better than many expect in 2026, this is the bit that covers tight ends. And there's only four of them, so this won't be a long piece, and I'll get straight into it. First one is George Kittle of San Francisco. Kittle's been a fixture as one of the leading tight ends in the NFL for years, and that has to come to an end at some point. And the question here is, can he stay at that level as a 33-year-old in 2026? Well, my answer is yes, at least for 2026. But as with Mike Evans and Devontae Adams in my wide receiver piece, he may become more touchdown reliant as he gets older. Having said that, I can still get him getting near the 1,000-yard mark and continuing to be a red zone threat next season. So I'll take Kittle to be a top five tight end once again, not the tight end 2012 he is in the consensus rankings. Switching right to the other end of the experience spectrum, rookie Kenyon Sadiq at New York Jets. Rookie num. This is another rookie I've named in these pieces. Follows the likes, and he tight end. He follows the likes of Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Brock Bowers, and Harold Fenning as tight ends that have made an immediate impact in the NFL. And Sadiq has the capability to be the next. That would see him do what Brock Bowers did to Michael Mayer, Colston Loveland did to Cole Kmet, and Harold Fanning did to David Njoku in pushing them to one side as the tight end one for their team. In doing so, Io Sadiq is putting up 750 yards and 7 touchdowns next season, similar numbers to those of Loveland and Fanning, and that would make him the tight end 9 in my rankings, not the tight end 23 he is in the consensus list. So next one, sort of mid experience here, getting up towards veteran stage now. Pat Fryermuth of Pittsburgh. Over 5 seasons, Fryermuth has averaged 34 yards per game and 4.4 touchdowns a season. The same again in 2026 would give him a 550 600-yard season with the 4 to 5 touchdowns. But with John Smith having left this off season, he may even do better than that in 2026. I'm not saying he will be a strong fantasy scorer next season, but he may be a borderline starting option in fantasy terms for 2026. Certainly better than the 31st ranked tight end he is in the consensus rankings, and obviously he's helped by the return of Aaron Rodgers. Now, the last one. This is a sort of later in drafts, maybe, but he could be set to have a breakout year and surprise many. And that he'll probably be the only Miami Dolphin that does that, and it's Greg Dulcich. The Dolphins have very few receiving options available to them, and as Darren Waller has left since last season, Dulcich not only has the clear path to a decent number of targets in 2026 as the tight end one, and maybe to take up some of the targets that might normally go to wide receivers because the Dolphins look pretty thin there. Greg Dulcich averaged 33.5 yards a game last term, and Waller also had 31 yards a game. And with the lack of other options, especially now Julian Hill has gone down, available to the Dolphins, Dulcich could well be set for a career year in 2026. He might well rack up good reception and yardage numbers, but has never been much of a touchdown threat. So maybe 60 catches for 700 yards and but just a couple of touchdowns. So as a late round option with upside, I have him as my tight end 25 rather than his consensus 39 ranking with Fantasy Pros. So again, he's not going to pull up any trees fantasy wise, but as your sort of depth guy that you might want to throw in for a spot start, he could be value in the later rounds. So that's it. Just four tight ends there, done in just under 4 minutes. And I'll be back with my next piece soon. See you later.